Monday already. Can you believe it? Let's see if I can find us. That's what we need next. So come in, get comfortable. And hopefully I'll find us soon. There I am. Fabulous. It always takes a moment or two for it to arrive, I've noticed. Welcome, everybody. Hi, Chris. Hi, Sarah. Welcome. So nice to see you. We'll just give it a moment or two. Let everybody come and catch up. Hi, Ali. Good afternoon. Welcome. So nice to see you. Hi, Happy Stamper. Welcome. Good. Hi, Sarah. No, you're not. You're not the first. Nearly. Very nearly. Right. Shall we crack on? What I'm going to show you today, I'm going to take things on a Monday. I'm going to take things back to basics, back to the beginning. But going back to the beginning and back to basics doesn't mean it's got to be flat or lifeless. Hopefully, we'll learn some arty tricks on the way. Hi, Cheryl. Welcome, Sarah. Bless you. I keep seeing Sarah pop up. It's only because she's messaging. I do apologise. So, if you have a look at this, there's some gold on there too. So this is a monochromatic card. What does that mean? It means it's all of the same colour or the same hue. It is different shades of the same colour. Our basic colour today is brown. So what should we be using? I have a piece of watercolour card, and this is 15.5 by 21 centimetres, which is approximately 6 inches by 8.25. I'm also going to be using the skeleton tree and the small branch. For colour and background, I'm going to use acrylic paints. And both, well, we've got a brown and a beige. To stamp with, keeping it monotone, I'm going to use pine cone. And for an extra splash of colour, we're going to use the henna from the Elements selection. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Come in, get comfy, have a seat. So, how are we going to start? I've got a palette. I'm going to add just a small amount of my acrylic paint to this so I can mix with a drop of water. Now, always give your acrylic paints a bit of a shake before you use them. There. So I'm going to add just a squirt or two of water, nice and clean. And then using one of the round-ended but flat brushes. This is a half. So I'm going to start with the paler colour first. I'm just mixing that water in with it at the same time. And then we're going to paint our card. It's a nice quick background, very easy to do. Hi Ruth, welcome. That gives us a nice base. Now I'm going in with the darker brown whilst it's still wet, and I'm going to blend this over in this corner. Clean my brush, take some of the colour off, and then I can blend this in a little better. Acrylic paint's great to work with, but you must remember it dries permanent. So whatever you use with it, like the palette, needs to be cleaned. Get that paint off whilst you still can, otherwise you'll be scraping it. So I'm just blending that up. We can add, drop more pale. Don't want that dark going too far up. Keeping it quite arty. All the way over. There, I think that's fine. So I would drop my palette into water. So now I can dry this off. Hi Lone, hi. Welcome. Happy Monday, brand new week. Nice easy background. If you don't have the acrylic inks, you can use your elements or your oxides. And you don't have to go brown. Experiment with your colours, see which your favourite colour is, if you don't already know. Heating the back helps flatten out the card. Yes, it was, Ali. So it blended. Right, move that out of the way. Help my card flatten. Right, so there's our background. Now, I absolutely love the skeleton tree. It's so artistic on its own. It looks brilliant, I think, in my opinion. So we're going to ink it up with a permanent ink. Now this is Versfine Clair Pinecone. Oh, there's a bit I can see I missed. Lovely, got it now. So I'm going to pop this over on the left hand side. They do blend beautifully, Helen, you're right. They're lovely to use too. Look at that. How beautiful is that just by itself? Gorgeous tree. Now I'm going to stagger this one down a little. Let's go there. Let it sit on the card for a minute or two. Well, not that long really, but just for a few moments. It helps get that ink down onto the paper. So I think one more. Right down here at the bottom. Beautiful, aren't they? Absolutely gorgeous. So to fill in, excuse me, to fill in some of these blank spaces, I'm going to use the small branch, again, using the same VersaFine Clair, which is permanent ink. We use VersaFine Clair because the particles held within are very, very fine, and that helps the pickup of all this beautiful detail that Tracy's designed into the stamps. So if you ever wondered why we use it, that's why. And it has such beautiful colours. It's a very easy stamp collection to fall in love with. I fell in love with them a long time ago and I haven't fell out with them yet. I love them, absolutely love them. So we're filling in the blank areas. I think I need one more. There. Use second and third generation. That's not a problem. So now I'm going to do some edging using the henna. Elements is a water-based ink, so it's dye ink. We tend to use this generally for backgrounds because it is water soluble, so you can move it around. It reacts with water, so you can create some really interesting shapes. But today we're using it for edging and added interest. So this helps draw your eye into the picture. So I'm going to deepen those edges. Just gently. And I'm using a size 7 brush for this. The beautiful thing about Tracy's designs, not only are they just perfectly artistic, they stay the last of time. You know, they really don't age. There's a fantasy world just waiting for you when you pick up your Lavinia stamps, and it's a great place to go to when you need to chill out a little. That's all right. We understood what you were saying, Cornelia. So just take your time. Don't try and get the colour down all at once. Nice and gentle. It's a little bit of magic when you get into your craft room and get your Lavinia stamps out. Happens every time. Right, I'm going to use one of the circle masks to add a sun. It's quite wintry still, but I'm looking forward to moving into the spring area. So just very gently, always start with your ink on the mask, and then you can run your brush round, picking up that ink as you go, so you're not wasting any, all the way around. And although it doesn't look like we've done an awful lot, look when you move it. It's beautiful, isn't it? So we can just make sure those edges soften out and blends in with the background. Really makes it pop. And if you find your sun a little too bright, then just give it a very gentle stir in the middle. Now, one of the nice things about doing this edge, and I just wanted to share this with you, is using a fan brush. Hi Christine, welcome. Using a fan brush, just tap it gently into those corners where we've got the element ink. And if I get some kitchen paper and just dry that off, you can see it lifts that ink but leaves the background solid. Let's do that. Let's see if we can get it a little heavier, a bit more texture. Leave it for a second and then we can dab it to dry it off. If ever you struggle blending ink, that water method, water-based ink, that water method, splashing and mopping it up, works a treat and will get you out of all sorts of trouble. So hopefully you can see that texture now. Keeping the browns in mind, I'm going to add a little bit of luxury, and that's using gold drop of shimmer, the Kuretake fluid. So make sure it's mixed up well. What's my favourite stamp? I've got a few. I find it really hard to pinpoint it down to one. I guess it'll always be one of the older ones that made me fall in love in the first place. And I think that would be the wildflower or maybe the stag. Oh, there's lots. There's too many to choose from. I love them all. I love how they all work together. So I'm just going to go in. I'm going to wipe some of that off. We don't want that much. And I want it delicate. So I'm going to test it first. Yeah, that's better. And then we can tap that all over our picture. For that little bit of glistening glamour. Orbs of the foils would look lovely on this. It's Finn, is it? Oh, I love Finn too. You see, the fairies are very special, aren't they? Very special. So I'm just drying off that gold. Scared to use it? Oh, don't. Try painting with it, Ali. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. Just be gentle. Go gentle with it. You'll love it. I don't want that to smudge when we mat and layer the picture. Just check. Yeah. We're quite dry. Lovely. So hopefully now, if I give it a little wiggle, you'll see that little bit of luxurious sparkle. It's very pretty. Very pretty. This would make a great journal page, I think. Straight into your journal, be lovely. So this is my mat and layer board that I cut onto. So it's just a cutting board really. I use my layering rollers. I've lost one. There's another one somewhere. Yeah, there it is in my drawer. I use a sharp knife. Now I find scalpels, if you use scalpels or crafting knives that are thin, they actually wobble and they don't make a nice finish. So I much prefer to use a good old-fashioned Stanley knife. Give that a little wiggle. And I think we'll use a combination because I've used lots of water and it's a little out of shape. I can use my double-sided tape. So whatever double-sided tape you like best. Mine's quite an inexpensive one from a local corner shop. That's all I use. It's not a branded one or anything, so whatever you find best for you. So I'm going to pop this to help hold those edges down firmly. I like it all the way to the edge. Trim that off. All the way round. I think it's really worth taking your time to mat and layer your projects. It really can finish it off and make a difference. I hope you get better soon, Ali. Recovery can be a long, slow process sometimes. So I've added a little tape. Take that off. And then I'm going to add a little bit of glue for two reasons actually. And I'll show you and explain the thought behind it. So I'm using Bippity Boppity glue. And I'm going to put a little onto the glued area, onto the taped area. That helps you move your project around if it's not quite in the right place. And then a little bit through the middle to help hold the centre down. I don't want it ballooning at all. Now I'm going to pop that up in this corner. Get a piece of paper over the top and give it a good rub. Make sure it's stuck down everywhere. There, that's going nowhere now. And then we can choose, if you've not seen these layer guides before, they've got a little lip on the edge. So that butts up to your card. Gives you a lovely guideline where to cut. And there's loads of different sizes, so you can choose a size to suit your project. So I'm going to use 1/4 inch. And then my Stanley knife, I'm just going to run it straight across. So you just butt that edge up to your card. If it doesn't stop for some reason, if it carries on, it's too thin maybe, if you just run without any pressure, either your nail or the back end of the blade across your work, it'll actually find that edge better. Always keep your knife upright, otherwise you can vary depending on how you hold your knife. You can vary the width. So for the best results, keep your blade nice and straight. Keeping the monotone in mind, I've chosen a nice dark brown to finally mat onto. Now this time, because the card's quite flat, I can use my glue directly. But you use what you prefer. You'll find in crafting, you'll get your own likes, the things you prefer to use. So I'm going to pop that just there. Hold it down a second or two. And then we can do a final trim. And this time, I'm going to use a wider one, I think. I want a wider finish. There, this one. So this one is 3/4 inch. Actually, we can go wider with that, with the looks of it. Let's see if that fits. It's always worth checking. Ooh, barely. No, so we'll stay with that way. So I start at the narrow end. Keep all your offcuts of card. You never know when they're going to come in handy. Again, I've lined it up with the main card rather than the edge, but you can choose, you know, if to find that exact size you want, you can move it up. Just so you know. Move them out the way. These are great for putting little sentiments on. Put my paper underneath so you can see the result. There. I hope you found that useful. I'll be looking forward to seeing your makes and what monochrome colours you choose to use. It is easy, great fun and quite quick. So go and escape in your craft room and enjoy. That's the main thing. Enjoy. Thank you so very much for joining me today. It's been lovely sharing lunchtime with you. I'll next be on Facebook over on Lavinia Stamp's main page, Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, so British time. So any time difference you have, don't forget to take that into account. And I'm not sure what I'm making just yet. We haven't got that far today, but hopefully you'll enjoy it. So I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you for joining me again. Take care now. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.